Namaste and good morning to everyone. I'm Krishna Bhargavi, working as Assistant Professor in the Department of CSE, GRIET. Today, let us discuss about database languages, which are the DDL and DML. The learning objectives are, after completion of this lesson, we will be able to identify what are the DDL and DML commands, differentiate the procedural and non-procedural languages. Also, we'll be able to identify what are the constraints that are imposed by making use of the DDL commands. So the database languages. We know that language is something which will allow you to communicate. So here, as databases are a software, we require a database language to communicate with this database with the database so that we can perform certain operations that could be read and write operations. So here there are two major languages in the database. One is DDL, we call that to be data definition language. The second one is DML, which is called as data manipulation language. Using data definition language, we will be able to create the structure of the database and also modify the structure. Using the DML statements, we will be able to manipulate the database. That is, we'll be able to either insert, update, delete, or retrieve the data from the database. Moving in detail to the DDL commands, as we are saying that DDL is used to create the database schema and also manipulate the schema. The structure of the database is stored in a special set of tables called as data dictionaries. So in a dictionary, we usually have a word and its meaning. Similarly, the data dictionary will have the set of tables and the structures regarding those tables. We technically call these to be metadata. So metadata is nothing but data about data, where the data is your table name, for suppose an employee table, and the other data which is describing your table are nothing but the properties or the structure of your table. So if one data is your employees table, the metadata regarding this employees table could be the table name, which is employees. Then how many attributes are there? Some 11 attributes. What are those attributes like employee ID, employee name, salary, designation, email, contact, etc. and their respective data types as well. And in addition to these, if you are providing or if you are imposing any constraints upon your table on a particular attribute, even that information is also stored in these data dictionaries. So the main purpose of data dictionary is to store the structure or schema of the objects in the database. It could be a table or it could be a view, anything. And using these DDL commands, not just creating the structures of the database, but also we can impose or we can specify certain consistency constraints on the database. So the constraints that we can apply using these DDL commands are, the first one is domain constraint. So domain is nothing but a set of values. So using domain constraints, we will be able to specify what set of values are allowed in a given attribute. So if I say that it is employee ID and its data type is number, so obviously it indicates that it will only allow the employee ID attribute will only allow the integer values, right? So this specification of constraints on the attributes is mandatory. It must happen. So when you are creating a table, don't just create the attributes but also specify the domain constraints on them. Specifying domain constraints is nothing but specifying the data types. Then coming to the second one, which is a referential integrity constraint. So the name itself, it is specifying as referential. So these constraints are referencing to some other objects in the database. So here, as we are speaking about tables, and that too it is RDBMS, the tables must be interrelated. The data must be interrelated. So using referential integrity constraint, we will be able to establish relationships between two tables by taking the common column. How to create them and what are their syntaxes, we'll see them in our further videos. Then coming to the next one, which is an assertion. So here, assertion usually is a constraint that will be applicable not at the table level but at the database level. So if you are having in a database more than one table and the consistency check that you are trying to apply on the tables, on several tables, we call that to be assertions. So obviously your referential integrity constraint is one kind of assertion where the consistency constraint has to be specified on multiple tables and it must be imposed on the overall database. Then coming to authorization. So here we already told in our previous slides that database is having a higher security. So now if you wanted to retrieve data, if you wanted to modify the data, first of all, you must be a privileged user of the database. So now whenever you are trying to access or modify the database, it will check for your authorization, whether you have read and write permissions or not. So these authorization checks are also performed by the DDL commands earlier, but now these authorization checks are specified or classified into another set of commands called as DCL, which is called as data control language. But earlier the DCL data control language is also included in the DDL commands only. Then moving further, we have DML commands. The name itself it is specifying as DML mean a data manipulation language or data modification language. So if we are trying to modify the data in the database, then these DML commands will help us. The modifications that we can perform on the tables are update, insert, delete and retrieval. At later stages, that is now at the current stage, the retrieval is not modifying the database, so retrieval command is again moved into a separate set of commands called as DQL or DRL, which is data query language or data retrieval language. But earlier, even retrieval is also included in the manipulation language only. So in this data manipulation language, we have two types called as procedural language and non-procedural language. So by name again we can understand procedural language will have procedures. So whenever we say that it is a procedure, it will have the code which will tell us how to retrieve the data. So using procedural data manipulation language, you will not only just specify what to retrieve, but we will also specify how to retrieve it by developing procedures or functions. Then coming to non-procedural DML, here we do not have any procedures. So we are trying to tell or specify what we wanted to retrieve, but we do not specify how to retrieve it. The database management system takes care of how to retrieve the data. You just specify what you need. So in procedural language, we will have to specify what to retrieve and how to retrieve. In non-procedural language, we will specify only what to retrieve but not how to retrieve. And one best language that comes under non-procedural is SQL. So SQL stands for Structured Query Language. So from hereafter, in order to work with the databases, we will be making use of this SQL, Structured Query Language. And we also will learn about a procedural language called as PLSQL, which is procedural language to SQL. So procedural language to structured query language. So again, if we recollect what are the database languages, these are the languages or commands which are allowing the user to modify or communicate with the database. So if we are modifying the schema, we call them to be DDL, data definition language. If we are modifying the data, we call it to be DML, data manipulation language. By now, you must be able to understand what is the purpose of DDL and DML commands. What are the different constraints that DDL commands will provide? What are the two types of DML languages that we have? In specific, under DML, the procedural and non-procedural, where SQL comes under non-procedural and PL/SQL comes under procedural language. So with this, I'm concluding this topic and hope everyone has achieved your learning objectives. Thank you.